today I just want to continue working on this artwork that I'm working on so that I can try to utilize this for me just go and try to continue working on some of the road here, and do have foreground buildings. We do have our, where did I put the road? Okay, so we do have the road. I think I don't want those white outside of the, I'd like it, I like the white color to be exactly, just go get that box. I want it to occupy exactly the length here. Let's see. I'm going to use that exact same length. We can have that straight line there. Then let's have this also occupy that. Of course, we can be more detailed with this, but for now I just want to have those lines set up for us from this area. And GIMP can be quite challenging to use, but it's for free. That's why I use it. At least there won't be that much expenses on my end while using this free open source software. I think it's much better if we just try to follow the boxes that we have here for the road signs. I think I'll go with that. Sometimes I have a difficult time deciding with regards to I think it's better that we just follow 4-pixel box line rather than having those in that position, right? And I'm just going to have it alternately. And I'm just pressing shift key here to draw those lines for the road. And let's just do apologies for the barking dogs outside. Let's also try to have this drawn set to occupy the whole length that we have here. I'm thinking about separating this in all of this in a separate layer or separate images. I'll be exporting them as separate images, then try to test out if we can try to implement a parallax effect with our background. If we do, I'm still thinking on whether I'll be going through with phaser, setting up phaser in such a way that we will be having a continuous background, moving background, or are we going to have it by tiles? So still undecided so far, but I'll go with that as I try to move forward with my our team in trying to figure out the art style that we will be incorporating into this. I would perhaps get some feedback from my teammates. But for now, let's just draw some artwork here. And I'm just going to have those road lines, perhaps. But I can try to make it a little bit more messy because this is a ruined environment. As I've mentioned, this is like the Terrafadia, or the world from where Robo Explorer exists, is actually currently broken or chaotic after all of the... I'm not sure if we can try to use mirroring here. You will see there's a mirroring option here. I'm just not sure if we can have that. Horizontal symmetry, will that work? I already forgot how to use this. I think I won't be using that for the meantime. But there's a possible way to work with mirroring so that we won't need to go through all of this in this manner. So we'll just be adding this for the meantime. I'm actually still trying to work on figuring things out with Phaser, because I know Robo Explorer 1 was built purely on vanilla JavaScript. So basically, it's not a framework that we used in building that project. We actually use just plain vanilla JavaScript files. So frameworks, so it's really important that you have a strong foundation with the JavaScript language. I think if you want to proceed to learning a framework like Phaser. So I think that's good for the roadside. And I think the yellow, let's make this a little bit messy. I want to get some of those yellow. And let's make it a bit messy grounds, right? So that there's some bits of sand, perhaps, that covers the road, like some sort. And we also need to work on I think that's the broken windows. But let's do it one step at a time, right? We can also use, by the way, some colors. If you wanted to make a little bit more, let's say this is going to be the building background, right? Those building background there, we can adjust that. We can actually copy this and then hide that, and we can scale that down if we wanted to. See, I'm going to crop this to content. I'm just going to scale that down because I want that to be a small background. And then adjust that a little bit upward. And let's also scale it down again. We can just upscale that there. Let's see, and then let's adjust that a bit so that there will be a bit of a distance between the far building from the near building, right? So I think that's just going to do just one. Let's also give this a color tag, for example. Now at least I would know that that's a building. Let's have some more of those. Perhaps some of it will be rotated, right? Because again, these are buildings that has been affected, or these are basically just going to flip that. These are ruins of some buildings, right? And let me just play around with a little bit of this, and you would see if you're scaling some of, just be careful when you're scaling your images in a rasterized tool like GIMP here, because most probably you'll see the effect right now. It's actually, you'll see there's that anti-alias that is appearing on our screen once we try to, if we want to remove those, let's try to just imagine some parts that are going to be removed from the rooftop. Let's have some broken, just to make it look like it's really going to be broken. It's like a broken building, right? So let's just have that as a scene there. We can also, what do we see in some buildings on top? Rooftops, images. What do we normally see in rooftops? Destroyed, war, buildings. I think we can get some inspirations from some buildings that are destroyed, like this one. So if, for example, there are some buildings that got destroyed, we might get some inspiration from some photos. I'm just searching a bit of some rubble. What do we see on top of rooftops? That will be easy for us to transition to pixel art. But for now, let's just try to I would want that foreground building to have some of those broken windows. Let's merge this down. Merge that down. This is going to be the yellow line. How about this one? Okay, so those are the broken windows. I think I want to merge that down. Now we can see that those broken windows are gone. I'm going to fix some of those. And make some of them perhaps we can have some broken parts also in here, just to have some random looks for some broken glasses, right? Just so that they will not be totally exactly the same. And this one, I'm just going to cover all of it, or just half of it perhaps. Let's have some broken glasses here also. Have some broken glass just to make it look like it's been really chaotic. Right, so let's try to have that in there, and let's work on some of these parts. This one, let's have some glass, broken glass like this. And usually when you transition to another tool, I really like one of my mentors in artwork, to the artwork, he mentioned that it's really not the tool, it's more on the understanding of the different concepts while using the tool, right? So in programming, it's about you learning the fundamentals of the language so that once you learn the fundamentals, it will normally be helpful in terms of transitioning to another programming language. So programming language is like you learning a new language. You need to really understand some of the basic syntax, right? Like in English, for example, we have expressions, we have statements, we have operators, operands, right? So in the English language, we have verbs, we have nouns, we have pronouns. So if you want to get better in code-based reading, going through the fundamentals, I think is really going to be very helpful. And sometimes it's really boring, of course, because you're not yet building projects in general, but technically it helps you read code base if you start with the very basic fundamentals. If you start with the basic fundamentals. I'm just not sure if I'm doing this correctly when it comes to the tiling. If I do decide to turn this into a tile set. And let me just try to export that and check it out. How would it look if we are on our game here? Let me just export this, and I'm just going to go to my files here from where I have the game. And let's try to refresh that. Where's our assets? I'm trying to organize my folders in such a way that it will be easy for me to go through the that didn't seem to work, or I think it's still exporting. So it's still exporting. Let's refresh. That's not working. Or perhaps we have to close the server and hard reset our. Let me try to open that up in a private window. Sometimes when you're working with local servers, this happens. And we now have some buildings. Let's just go. I think I'll still need to work on the what's currently happening here, but we do have some updates on our screen now. So let's just try to continue working on some more elements in our scene. Let's say I want to have perhaps if this is going to be a level, what are we going to, what do we want to get? Do I want to go proceed with where's the building? Can we move this up? Not that one, but the foreground building here. just so that I can also add some yellow sands here. What would happen if we do that? Let me export that on our background.png, and let's look at how that will look. Okay, so there's a score now. I think one of my teammates currently working on the... Okay, so we do have that. We fall down on the ground. So I think our background is a bit... I'm just thinking, should we just be running around on this area? Right, we'll be moving around the area. We need to work on that gravity in the code base, but I just want to work on some artwork for tonight. So to cover this part. What if I try to flip this? How will that look? No, that's not going to work. This one. I think I like it that way better. Layer to image size. I think I should undo that. It should be this one. Then we want to put that. What happened there? Oh, I think we have to really flip it that way. Then the small ones. This one is the blue glass, right? I just want to layer crop to content. No, that's not how we want that. We want this layer crop to content. Okay, that seems to be a bit reasonable. Let me just bring this out a bit. Let's go back up here. Let's draw some more sands on our... So add some randomize background here. It's going to add some sort of dust in the area of the road. It's just to make it look like it's not safe to be just roving around these areas. Can we make this a lot easier by having some parts? Let me duplicate this. Layer, crop to content. Want to merge that down. Just color that. Then perhaps I'll try to figure out how we can try to turn this into a tile map. The size of the background is actually 32 by 32 for each of those boxes. And we have our player. Does the player stand out on the scene? I think so. Let's have... So how would the lighting be? So the lighting will be coming from this side rather than from this side, right? Let's also add some more broken glasses. So let's try to just imagine that we have some large chunk of broken glass here. And I'll just decide on whether I'll be adding some shadows. Right, so does that look good? Let me just have this bunch of broken chunk of glass, right? So it doesn't have to be perfect. You can also add some sort of noise, or I'm not sure if that's the correct word for that, but some sort of a shadow foreground, right? Let's add some parts here also. Just so that it won't be too perfect. Broken glasses, and then of course we need to have some broken glasses also here, right? But the problem, we want to have some sort of bits of, when we add blue broken glass on road, so that means we'll have that layer on top, and then we'll have some pieces of chunks of course there will be some chunks of broken glasses here, right? That will be also just for aesthetics. Not sure if that looks good. But just wanted to have some bits of aesthetics of glasses here. And for the building, again, let's go back here. Want to have some let's go get this palette here. Why am I not able to get the palette? Oh no, I think I did something wrong here. I merged the, I think we can adjust some city filter let color city 8. Let's go get some of this, and I'm going to go here and paste that. Going to add this as a palette for Robo Explorer. I like to have some post, electric post. Let's add, just go adjust this a bit. Also some of those buildings we want to be also adjusting them a bit, and these are just small buildings, that's why it's a how will this look? It's a bit dark. I'd like to change this to a bit lighter color. Nope. Okay, let's go reference this gray color here. Then let's have it a bit dark, just very enough to look like it's okay. Then we'll have a darker area. broken wall. Before that, let's go to our electric post. Let's create some. Let's look at electric post reference. Okay, so let's have some large chunks of see. I want to have this a bit. I want it to be a bit in here. So let's have it go down to here. I think we need to adjust the foreground building in front, right? So that we won't have to worry too much about let's just try to make it. I won't be too meticulous for the meantime. Just want to draw an electric post here. Make this a bit larger. Okay. Let's just try to look at that first and export that to the, then go check how that will look. I think that's because we're still exporting it. Okay, so we do have our foreground now with a little bit of, I think we exported. So to export the background, it's odd. It's still loading the export. Okay, so we do have that. And I think we need to add some layer also on the small building that we have here. I think it's better if we delete some parts of it down from here, right? So that it won't be totally looking like it's didn't get affected by even a broken part here. Might be something that we can also add just to add some more chaotic look. Spread that. And still need a lot of improvement. I think I still need to plan out on the road side what we can try to place there. So perhaps that's it for tonight. For the meantime, I think we can still work on some of those background image. I'm going to work further on playing around with how we can try to make the artwork look like better, much better perhaps. But for the meantime, that's it for this session. Okay guys, I also composed the track 2 for today, and I also added this track for just a quick track for a little bit of a background music for track 2.